Hey guys, this is Tom Box, and on today's episode of Metatrends, we are keeping up with the Kardashians. I'm just kidding. We're keeping up with Kashtira. What are they doing now? What's the best play? What are they doing to protect themselves? And ultimately, how do you beat them? I don't really want to dig too deep in because I personally play the deck and I've been like just killing it right now. And well, I'm going to share with you guys some tips of what are people doing right now. And some of this stuff isn't even from me. It's from the recent YCS, of course, and I just want to just simplify things down and kind of highlight it. Originally, today's video was going to be an Ultimate Counter Guide Part 1 on how to hand trap against Kashtira, Branded, Labyrinth, Trap Trick, Sprite, and Runic, but I just don't have that kind of mental capacity. So if this video will re-energize me, then you know what, we're gonna do this one instead. So today we're gonna start off by showing off what our Kashtira players doing right now, what cards are they playing, and it's gonna be a little bit different, so just stick around and make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding a notification bell. Let's go. So the first meta trend is going to be the 5-zone lock, featured by Dominic Couch. That was his combo. This is his combo, and you guys can see the original source in the description. But I want to kind of bring into additional context to it. Like, what does it mean to be 5-zone locked by 3 cards with the Ariseheart disruption? Essentially, it's a 9-zone lock play, which would just win you the game if you get all the way there. And because of this trend, it actually led to people altering how they built their main deck. And because people want to land this particular combo successfully, they've also altered their own main decks to make sure that it's much easier to land, because it is a 3-card combo, so it means that the other 2 cards could be anything, and if there are ways to defend your combo with it, then that's probably what people are going to do. It's not completely invincible, but essentially you have 3 categories of cards and you just need 1 from each one and you will get there. For the one part that is not like 100% necessary, if you want a 3-card combo, then yes, you need these cards. But if you want it to be a 4-card combo, there are 2 cards that you can use in replacement, which would be both the Ariseheart and the Ogre in hand. So if you have these 2 with 1 from each of these categories, you still get all the way there. And I probably won't show it to you guys, but trust me, it's really easy to get there. Let's put these guys away. Let's get 1 from each category, and let's get started just to showcase it, and then we will talk about what it means to get 5-zone locked and what people are doing. So we're activating Raid Soth. Raid Soth adds the missing monster, and that's going to be our Fenrir. So Fenrir has been added to hand. Special summon out the Unicorn effect. We're going to add the missing spell, which is Theosis. We're going to activate Birth to get a normal summon of our Fenrir effect. We're going to use that to add the Ariseheart, the regular Ariseheart. And the Theosis, we're going to hold on to this for a second. We're going to special summon out the Ariseheart. This is going to be activated after the Ariseheart gets put onto the field. And taking the Fenrir and Unicorn, overlay Exceed Summon into Shangri-Ira. Now we can activate the effect of Ariseheart. For cost, we are going to put away a monster. This is going to be added back to our hand later on, so we get to extend even further. The reason why we want to save the Theosis is so that we can have access to Big Bang through the Ogre. So now that that's been banished, we get 3 cards get banished on the other side, and of course they get banished face down, so that's going to activate the Shangri-Ira, and it's going to be basically 1 zone. I'm not going to explain which zone yet because I kind of want to bring that into discussion. When is it the front 5 or the back 5? We can talk about the implementations from those. So now that we have this, that's 1 zone, and that's also going to activate the Raid Soth. Raid Soth is going to attempt to pop the Shangri-Ira so that Birth can revive something. So we're just going to substitute the Destruction with the Fenrir. So right now, we probably have like 2 more cards in hand, but we can immediately just use a 1 material like Sea Summon into Ariseheart. Okay, and now we can activate the Theosis. Theosis target the Ariseheart, and that's going to summon out the Ogre. This is going to get banished because Ariseheart's already there. Chain Link 1, that's going to be Ariseheart, and we're going to attach the Theosis. Chain Link 2 is going to be the Theosis, and we're going to get back the Scareclaw. So everything kind of got added back together here. Alright, now that we have this, we can activate the Ogre, and that's going to give us the Big Bang. And now we can basically use Scareclaw Kashtira to banish the Big Bang to detach another material to summon out another monster. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing. Now Birth can definitely revive the Fenrir, so if we activate Scareclaw Kashtira now and special summon it onto the field, that's going to banish the Big Bang. That's going to be Chain Link 1 Ariseheart, Chain Link 2 the Big Bang. Big Bang is going to target the Shangri-Ira, so we get another level 7, and then we get to summon it back onto the field, and that's going to get attached like that. Now we can activate Birth to summon back the Fenrir, and from here you can just basically stack everything together. Get our second copy of Shangri-Ira, and you can get a Diablosis the Mind Hacker. And once you activate the Mind Hacker now, that's going to detach this. That's going to mill 3. Or sorry, not mill 3, but you're going to mill 4. And then you're going to banish 2 zones at a time. And that's going to hit essentially all 5 at once. And of course, you're going to have to attach a material from that. You can probably attach back your scale called Kashtira. But you're going to have to attach something from your opponent's deck as well. So just maybe take something from their extra deck. So that's going to be a 5-zone lock. So when you're under a 5-zone lock like this, there's going to be one key disruption, which is the Ariseheart being able to banish. And once it banishes, that's going to trigger the Diablosis to banish some more, and then it's going to lock 2 more zones for each time. So 1 from the Ariseheart, 1 from the Diablosis, and that's 9 zone totally locked. And I don't think a lot of people can play with just 1 spell or trap zone or 1 main monster zone. It's very limiting. Okay, now I'm on the receiving end. Let's see if we can try to break the board here. I would say even as a Kashtira player, you should probably hit the back row. I want to highlight why based off of the interactions that are available. So there are certain cards that definitely will break the board, such as Nibiru or Lava Golem, but both of these cards, it doesn't matter if you lock the front or back row. These are going to be the outs against plays like this. And yeah, because it doesn't interact with your own side and it opens up everything for you. So if you open with Lava Golem Nibiru, you're good to go anyway. And that's why a lot of people are choosing to main deck 3 Lava Golems and they're choosing to main deck the Nibirus. So what about hitting the spells and traps? What does it really hurt? You have to hard draw everything because you can't prosperity 6 cards. You can't dig 6 cards deeper. Even the matches you sided in are probably dead. The Book of Eclipse, pretty much going to be useless because you can't do anything. Lightning Storm, Dark Hole, Raigeki, all useless. Terraforming to dig into your field spell, also pretty dead. So there's just a lot of dead cards that would normally be the cards that you can play multiples of to try to out it. But once you get to this point, you can't do it. So what about monsters? Why not, stop the Fenrirs and all those guys from coming out? Well, let me show you guys the interaction. Let's put like 3 materials onto this Ariseheart, and assuming the player is smart, they're not going to activate the Shangri-Ira. Activating Shangri-Ira literally would just break your own board for your opponent. So if they've seen the extra, they see the Ariseheart, they see the big eyes, they understand that this is a Kashtira matchup, then they won't activate the Shangri-Ira. And because of that, if you special summon out a Fenrir, they're probably not going to shotgun. The idea is to not shotgun the card until you can guarantee that there's no way that they can get into Zeus. And so if you only have a single card and you try to go to the battle phase, once you hit the battle phase, the Ariseheart is going to activate and banish the Fenrir face down, and that's going to also lock out 4 more of your zones, because 2 from the Ariseheart and 2 from the Diablosis. And now, because you can't go into Ariseheart, you can't go into Zeus, 1 zone is more or less unplayable, and this is kind of like the scoop phase. So let's bring it back for a second. Let's look into Fenrir. And what if you have more cards? What if you have more stuff? Because if you special summon Fenrir, they're not going to do anything. You can activate Fenrir. Likely they're not going to do anything on the activation of Fenrir either. But you have a problem. If you put in a second monster, the Fenrir is going to die and you're going to be locked with that 1 monster to play. And that is extremely limiting. So say you have Fenrir add Ariseheart, but you also have like Tira and Kashtira. So you special summon out the Ariseheart and use the effect, whatever banished, set up everything. But there's a chance that they're going to activate that Ariseheart now, and they're going to banish the Fenrir. And that's going to lock out 4 zones. What are you going to do with a single copy of Ariseheart? What are you going to do with a single copy of Kashtira Tearlament? You can't do anything. So the moment you put on a second monster, they're going to hit away your Fenrir. And it doesn't matter if you leave a Unicorn out. As long as there's not Fenrir clearing off your Shangri-Iras, this is basically going to win you the game. So in terms of zone locking, it's probably better to hit the back row instead of the front row, because the front row won't even matter if they're going to out you with stuff like, Nibiru and Lava Golem. That's why these are very, seeing a lot more play now because of plays like this. So for popular cards people are playing already, the Lava Golem and the Nibiru, both of these are mainly there to just break Kashtira boards, stop them from 5-zone locking. Whatever it is, it's just to get out of Kashtira boards. Then there's Crossout Designator, gaining more popularity because people don't want to just end on just a Ariseheart, and they want to do the 5-zone lock, and they want to commit, and therefore they're going to cancel out the Nibiru. That's one of the main reasons. Also within Kashtira themselves, they are able to kind of push through and use additional bodies that this thing banishes, and you just bring it back with birth in case you did get disrupted, lost the additional body to make a decent board. This could push it enough to get the additional level 7 so that you can exceed summon and just continue your play from there. Other cards are very popular because the control matchups are just getting insane right now, just out of control. We have Forbidden Lance to kind of cover the matches of Runics, Naturia, Runic Naturia and Bailey. There's also the Labyrinth deck, and even within the mirror match, I guess every single deck just has some level of like spell or trap that would disrupt you, because it's the most free way of disrupting Kashtira, which is why they have their own lances now, because it's just for all matchups, not just control ones. And Book of Moon is an interesting one because Book of Moon also kind of turns off your opponent's cards, but it also protects your effects from being negated as well. I think one thing to note about the protection with this is that if you get stuck under a skill drain, when Labyrinth players have skill drain, it's one of the most restrictive things, but if you somehow land a Fenrir, you manage to get to attack. One of the best things about the skill drain, for you anyways, is that it turns off the anti-targeting capacity of Lady, so you can still banish the Lady and you can still book your own card, or you can get rid of the skill drain by targeting the skill drain and then booking your own card. That's one way of just getting your effects and forcing them to go through. That's actually really good, so it's both offensive and defensive. As for, you know, again, with more control matchup, we have Lightning Storm, Evenly. These are just commonly cited. These are just the most popular board breakers, blowout cards. Drone Lockbird gaining more and more popularity. It's kind of weird because it's hard to main deck this. It's not worth main decking. It's still worth siding, I think. You hit Kashtira with this, yeah, they go into Rates of Field Spell, and then they can't use the Unicorn. They can barely build any kind of play. If they don't have any spell cards, their turn essentially will just end, and they are pretty much you know, a duck sitting in water. So it's really, really rough, but it doesn't really work against like ninjas. They add a card and then they set a couple cards and then they pass. They don't do anything. If they work against against Labyrinth, maybe, but you have to hit perhaps the earlier cards like Pot, but yeah, definitely a harder thing to hit, because like they usually like to use their Ariana to add, you know, whatever that's most useful. And Ash is just essentially just a better card when it comes to those particular matchups, but it's still really good for the mass searching matchups, so this is still pretty decent. As for Solemn Judgment, it's just a commonly cited thing just to prevent any form of activation. Now Linger Rebo is like kind of a neat one here. Now the popularity of Ibli has been going down because people have Linger Rebo, but there is another reason to play the Linger Rebo, and it's because of the control matchups, because this is still technically a card that works against Labyrinth. I used it myself against turning off, like preventing a skill drain from like successfully getting flip face up, and honestly it's really good. It's really good in those matchups. It's strange but good, because you're burning your normal summon for your Iblis, and then when they see it, they can't just like get rid of the Ibli. They have to somehow bounce it, because if they try to put it into the graveyard, all it's going to do is summon back onto their side of the field, and it locks them out of their own big welcomes and their welcomes. So it's really weird, because letting you get into Linger Rebo is also bad, because now one of their traps essentially got traded off for free. So yeah, these are some of the interactions you can have with that, and those are some of my personal experiences I'm sharing with you guys, and stuff that I've seen within, you know, YCS Vegas and just my own tournaments in general. So that's it for popular cards. I think I talked enough about Kashtira for a while now. I think next time I talk about anything, I'm gonna try to jump back into this ultimate counter guide. There's a lot of cool hand traps like Drone Lockbird that you should definitely try out. If you can fit it, you should play it, but every single card seems to be big blowout cards these days, and we're gonna break it down. We'll see who we can invite into the ultimate counter guide. But that's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe, ding that notification bell. I know it's a little bit different. I'm not trying to edit as hard on this one. I'm just a bit burnt out, so I'm just gonna showcase it on my desk. All right, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys, you know, take this data, use it as you will, and find the most comfortable build for you. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one.